Hi, I think I've got this going now. If I'm a little bit ditzy today, just, you know, day 3. So I'm Rosie. If you've never caught me on any channels, I'm a little bit haphazard with all of these recordings. I, I'm hoping it's all working. It should all be working. So, what am I doing? Who am I? Why bother? I'm just a human being like everybody else. I let things slide. I've been really, really bad. So I started off the new year with the whole, I've got this dieting under control. And then we were blessed in Western Australia with more edicts from our Premier, and I'm over it. Absolutely over it. It is just so much BS. Who can deal with it? And pretty much since January, I have been living off sugar and fat in the form of chocolate and lollies, and real food has probably hardly ever touched these lips since January. And if any of you know anything about, the poor old liver, there's not much difference between sugar and alcohol, according to all the experts. I do not know this. I just think it makes sense to me. So, yeah, piled on the old weight again. I'm kind of over that. So I'm back to the heaviest that I was. Well, I was back to the heaviest I was back in 2011. So I'm back up to, I was back up to 83.9 kilos, which 85.9. Before I started the fast, I'd lost 2 kilos of that again. So I have written it down somewhere. Okay. So I was 85.3 on Monday. Monday morning, that's what I weighed. And I thought, I think I might just go back onto this extended fast and see if I can fix it. So what did I do for preparation? I'd been thinking about doing this for quite a while. So I had booked myself in for a transfusion for vitamins and minerals. I thought, because I'm lacking, this whole not eating real food, obviously, I would be lying if I was eating enough real food to get any form of nutrition from it. I was happily eating myself into malnutrition, which, not a scientist, not a doctor, but it wasn't good. So I had the transfusion on Tuesday morning, and I wasn't going to start the fast until tomorrow, being Saturday. But I woke up on Wednesday morning and had that bit of a headachy feeling, which I get when I might either be a mild headache from not having enough water, or any of the other reasons why you might have a headache. I haven't been drinking, so it wasn't a hangover. But I sort of thought, oh well, I might just. I've got a home blood pressure kit, and my systolic pressure was high at 154, but the diastolic pressure was low, so I wouldn't be able to get onto blood pressure tablets anyway, because when you have the diastolic low, the blood pressure tablets cause more grief than they resolve. So of course, I'd googled how to get on top of that one, and it's the old diet, exercise, lose weight. And I'm thinking, for 2 years my government has been telling me I'm going to die. If I get this virus that's going around, it's a death sentence. And I'm getting at the age where I'm going to die one day. Ah, shit. We're at that when we're born, aren't we? Never mind. So I thought, I'll see if I can start the extended fast. Do it now. I'd weighed myself, and on Wednesday morning it was 84.9 kilos. So that's what I've written down as being my starting weight. My headache turn ended up being a migraine by about lunchtime, so I was pretty much exhausted for some reason. I'm not sure if my body had to do something with all of this big shot of vitamins and minerals I got, and it just sort of said, no, I'm out. It could be I've not had a full shot of anything before. So anyway, I took to my bed, and without taking painkillers, I ended up sleeping a lot, which I never do. Usually I don't sleep when I've got a migraine unless I take lots of migraine pills, which I didn't want to take because, being a martyr to it all, I suppose. Or there's another word, it's called stupid. So, anyway, I survived the migraine, got up the next morning and still had a really bad headache. I'd been drinking lots of water, of course. So yesterday, I plodded on for quite a while, just, carrying on. Yesterday my weight was 83 kilos. So I thought, a lot of it is about the weight, but I'll talk about an earlier extended fast I did later. By about lunchtime, I think I relented and I took one of my migraine pills, and that seemed to do the work like a treat. Within about half an hour, my headache was gone. So I just plodded on, did sweet bugger all, because I expect the first 5 days of an extended fast to be pretty rough. Although I don't think I've ever started off a fast with a migraine. Although when I tell myself I'm going to do a fast, even if it's intermittent fasting, I end up with a headache, and it's all in my head. There's something in my thinking where it's like, oh no, I'm dying, no food, I'm going to die. So I thought, bugger it. Anyway, I took the headache pill and I was much, much better. And yeah, plodded on, got through it yesterday. Got up this morning, 81.9 kilos. Just that mild feeling across the eyes. But yesterday, I came to the conclusion that my sinuses were still really blocked, and that's probably why I had the migraine. So yesterday I found a couple of videos on lymphatic drainage of your sinuses, and I followed them, and oh my God, it was so good. I still decided to take the migraine medication afterwards, but only one pill, and worked a treat. So I've done an extended fast before. I went for 28 days. Cannot tell you how much weight I lost. I know that I lost some. My body reshaped a lot. So this time I've actually taken the measurements so that I can see what the difference is in measurements once a week. I want to take keep a record of my weight loss every day, only so that I can look back and, maybe make an assessment of it, or, see what somebody else makes of it. I'm more curious than anything else. The first 28-day fast that I did, unassisted, had no medical advice, but I ended up taking a lot of electrolytes during the fast, and towards the end I was adding in, during the fast, every third or fourth day I would have a bit of bone broth. So it wasn't a true water fast. It was more, just low calorie for some of the time, rather than being a full-on 28-day water fast. But the reason I've done that one is because in 2017 my body produced way too much cortisol, I believe, after a few stressful events in the family, and I had no T3, and I went to my doctor and said, I think you need to test me for T3. I've been on T4 treatment since the 90s. So I'm sort of there, look, I think it's T3. Can you test me for it? And this doctor said, oh, don't be stupid, don't have to do that. And you're probably just taking too much T4, so I'll lower your dose and you'll be fine. And I went home and I thought, well, this isn't bloody on. She wouldn't even test for it. So I got one of those online tests, ordered the online test, went and had my bloods done, and it turns out I had sweet FA of the old T3. So my sister had a doctor in Perth that she was seeing for her thyroid, who actually treated with T3. So I made an appointment with him, drove up to Perth to have a look at him, and he gave me a script straight away. And because it was compounded, I had to go and find a compounding chemist, which I had done at the hospital here, and they only did it 2 days a week. So it ended up on the 23rd of December 2017, I got my first dose of T3, and literally I was on the sofa and I was, exhausted over Christmas. I thought I was going to die. I really did. I had no energy and I was just going bloop, blowing up with sweet FO food in me because I was too tired to eat. It was not a good time. And I was cold all the time. Feeling cold started around September, and I was just cold to the bones. It was awful. And that never left. I was really, really cold all the time. I mean, if there was a heat wave, I'd be fine, just, what, you reckon it's hot? I'm cold. So everyone else would have the air conditioner on and I'd be under the rug. It was plain obvious to me that there was something wrong, and no one could give me any guidance on it. So I watched this video on extended water fasting and all of the brilliant results people had had. So I thought, you know what, I'll give this a whirl. I mean, I'm pretty much food motivated. The chances of me starving to death are pretty slim, because if I start to feel like, I need something, I'll eat. I mean, at the moment I'd probably be starving to death eating, because I'm eating the wrong foods. But back then I was pretty good. So, I thought I'll quit as soon as I think that it's more dangerous than doing me good. And lo and behold, by day 26, I stopped feeling cold. That feeling of being so cold right through the bones was gone. And then I thought, well, that was bloody stupid, you know. It really was. It was stupid. Do you know why? Hot summer. And then I'm sweating. It's the first time in about 2 years that I sweated. So, yeah, I did an extended fast at the end of end of 2019. I started it in the October and, yeah, finished it just before December. And it worked. It solved the problem that I wanted it to solve. My blood pressure was normal. It was brilliant. And after I got through day 5, I was fine. I could get my work done. And when I say work, I mean, just the housework and, basic things. I wouldn't have run a marathon. I certainly wouldn't have, set out to exercise. And I certainly don't have any intention of doing any of that this time around. And the reason why I'm sitting here with my hair just wet and no makeup on or anything, I haven't even put the face cream on, it's because I want to have a visual record of what the changes are. I want to see the changes. So I'm probably not going to change my camera over the next month either, because I don't want the change to be because I've got a U-Butte camera, and I certainly don't want to be tweaking anything with filters. So, as I say, this is more about me and recording for me, having it on the record, what's going on, how I'm coping with it, what I'm dealing with. So I'm hopefully going back to work next month. I haven't worked for a few months now because of some of the edicts from the government. I was working on some of that from, like, privately without being paid. But getting a job around here has been quite difficult without doing certain things that the government's demanding that I do. And I don't want to talk about it on here because I don't want the video banned. I did a legal video on a legal analysis of the thing, and it was my first video on this channel and banned. Okay, so I got a strike on that one. First video out, I thought, it's a bit rough when you can't discuss the law around something. And, but there you go. That's what happened. So hopefully this one with me just recording about my extended fast and just talking about it, I hope that doesn't get me into trouble, because, everything's trouble now. So I'm actually feeling quite fine at the moment. Even that feeling that I had behind the eyes is gone now. So probably the first glass of water helped. But I'm just going to see how I go. There's a few things I want to fix up. My blood pressure, obviously, is the biggest concern immediately. Blood pressure could have easily contributed to the migraine. I've had a lot of headaches lately, so no word of lie, it's probably the blood pressure. That'll do it every time. And, for people who say, just go on to blood pressure medication. Well, not when your diastolic blood pressure's low and your systolic's high. It's not a good idea. Horrible things happen. I've been there before. I've always had low blood pressure, so one of the benefits of having put on weight the first time was my blood pressure actually became normal. That's the only benefit there was. So what are my plans after this extended fast? So I'm hoping to go at least 28 days. I would like to do the religious 40 days and do a lot of meditation and get right spiritually in myself. You know, get back in touch with who I am and what I need to do, and you know, be able to approach my job from a centered position rather than, you know, playing catch up or being triggered by things. You know, just center. So the biblical 40 days sounds really good, except I'm pretty sure, you know, Jesus and Buddha and all the others that went for the old 40 days without food didn't have to start off with 40 days without coffee and chocolate and all the other things that I really crave and am addicted to. So, you know, here's the old, my name's Rosie and I'm a sugar addict and I'm a caffeine addict and shit, I just like food. So game plan afterwards, because, you know, you've got to have a plan for afterwards, whether I last 5 days, 7 days, 10 days, 28 days, or go the full 40 days. You've got to have a plan for afterwards. And my goal with all of the dieting that I was going to be doing, and I'm really annoyed that I've missed out on 4 months worth, because, you know, I cracked the SADs, because it's really depressing living in Western Australia at the moment. But anyway, the plan was always that, you know, by March 2024, I would be healthy. So, good weight, and I would have resolved all of my health issues, which doctors haven't been able to solve for me. So, one of the things I've noticed about doctors over the last 2 years that's become bleeding obvious, and I talk to a lot of former doctors who can no longer practice, who have opened my eyes to a few things, and I'm guessing that the reason why they couldn't figure out what was wrong with me is because I refused to take the pills that they wanted me to take, because I've had so many adverse reactions with different pills over a lifetime that I'm loath to take anything. And I mean, point in hand is I went for a day and a bit with a really massive migraine because I couldn't bear the thought of taking the pills, especially not on an empty stomach. But it turns out that that was fine, but I only took one. But when people talk to me about, you know, all of the kerfuffle at the moment and my stance on it, they say, I'll just do it. I'm like, well, no. Yeah, but, you know, if they offered you a jab that would get rid of your weight, you'd do it. Well, no, I wouldn't. I've looked at some of the side effects of some of the pills and wouldn't do it. Would have surgery for it, but only because a few people have. I would regret it. So I had a really serious back injury once. Orthopedic surgeon gave me two options. Said you can have surgery, which will fix it. There's risk of surgery. Or you can try physiotherapy, which may not fix it. So I went the physiotherapy route, and I've been able to manage my back quite well. It's not an issue. So, I've got a puppy licking my leg. And I've just had a shower, so it's probably not the best thing. But game plan afterwards. No alcohol I'll probably have alcohol to celebrate our wedding anniversary in August. Maybe not. But I don't want to have alcohol until Christmas, just to see what that looks like. It's not that I drink a lot. I don't drink anything at all for the week that my husband's away. And then when he's home, I don't drink every night or anything. It's not like I'm a massive massive drinker or anything. I just don't want to have any drink at all, at least until Christmas, barring the wedding anniversary one, because that's a big anniversary. I think I deserve a drink for hanging in there that long. Not as much as he deserves a drink for hanging in that long, but, you know, that's only because I'm a pain in the neck to live with, but that's all right. He's got to love me. There's a contract he signed. It's all in the contract. But I'm thinking doing intermittent fasting, and in the initial refeed period after my fast, which again doesn't matter how long the fast lasts, it'll be 1 meal a day, and it'll only be a small meal, obviously, at the outset, just to reintroduce food. And then I'll probably worded that one wrong, because when I say the 1 meal a day, it's what I mean is one refeed period a day, so over 2 hours, just slowly reintroduce food. So for the first couple of days, it would be 1 meal, because it would take me so long to eat anything if I go the full 40 days especially. I mean, if I were to give up after 7 days, then it wouldn't be much. You know, I could eat a fair bit. I would still have to be careful how to reintroduce food though, because, you know, you don't want to mess up your body too much. And every time that I panic about all of this, I sort of remember that there was a guy back in 1965, I think it was. He did an extended fast of 385 odd days, and he was fine. And then I worked out how many calories I'm carrying around. So on this body, I'm carrying 175,000 calories, of which, you know, probably half would be fat. No, probably a third would be the fat. So, you know, I would have a fair few calories to survive on. I'm not going to starve to death. My government's likely to kill me before I starve to death. And that's only because they'll make my head explode. They really do make my head explode. I have a hard time wrapping my head around some of the BS, so I'm not a fan of cognitive dissonance, and that's what we're living in, where, you know, oh, don't do this because it's really dangerous, but do that because it's okay. And then you look at it and you know, there's no difference. What's the difference between the two things you're talking about? I mean, one's an Anzac Day march and the other one's a football match, but, you know, there's no difference. But yeah, it's too dangerous to go to an Anzac Day march. Oh, we can't do that. But yeah, go to the football. Go to the football, it's fine. Football's good. Anzac Day march, not so much. So, I just get a bit annoyed. I do. I get very annoyed. So anyway, that's probably all I need to rant about today. So I've got a plan. Eventually, and I have read somewhere from one of the expert doctors who actually does believe in diet and exercise and non-invasive ways of fixing humans, that, you know, the human body can heal itself given the right environment. And his opinion is you shouldn't be in ketosis all the time, so I won't be doing full-on keto. Full-on keto is really good for a short period of time, according to this guy, or even an extended period of time. But you shouldn't be in ketosis all the time. And there's a few YouTubers who've spoken about this, that, you know, they were on full-on keto and did really well, and then things started to go haywire. And I suspect that's because we really don't need to be on it all the time. I think once our bodies are healed, our bodies can deal with a lot more that we throw at them. Am I ever going to give up chocolate and sugar altogether? Can't see it happening. As I say, I like my food, and life's too short. So do I want to do this whole, and I was about to use the N word, the one from World War II Germany. But you get flagged for that one as well, even if you're using it in an innocuous context. Like, I don't want to be a food one of those. But I don't see the benefit of being really, really strict on everything. My biggest issue is that I still talk to myself negatively. And that's what the spiritual side of the next few days and weeks is about, to actually get in touch with me and let go of all of the stuff. I beat myself up over mistakes I made 40 years ago. It's not good. I mean, other people who continue to do things don't feel any guilt about any of the things they've done, and I'd really rather be more like them. This whole thing, beating myself up because when I was faced with a decision, I made the wrong one. That's got to stop. I really have to stop that. And a lot of the beating up I've been doing on myself for the last 4 months, that meant that I could not be arsed dieting because, I don't deserve to be healthy. That kind of BS that runs through your head all the time. That's got to stop. It's as simple as that. And, if I hadn't done all of those stupid mind games, I probably wouldn't have gotten fat in the first place. And, I can set my mind to lots of things. I've proven to myself that I can achieve what I set out to achieve. The only thing I have never been able to achieve is losing the weight. And there's a reason for that. So hopefully I'll get to the reason for that while I'm healing my body, because there's a fair few things wrong with it at the moment, because I've been flogging it hard. It's not good. We shouldn't abuse our bodies that way. And I don't know if I need to do a confession here, but I hear other people talk about, I'm so bad. I eat so much. And I should be the size of a shed. What kind of a shed? One of those big hay sheds out on the stations, I reckon. I should be massive, because I literally rubbish foods all the time. I don't drink sugar drinks, which may be a saving grace. Maybe that's why I haven't quite blown up as much as you'd think I would with the rubbish I eat. I don't know. And I don't eat a lot of fried food, so it's not like I eat a lot of fast foods. I just don't eat real food. Given a choice, I'll eat a bag of lollies and a block of chocolate. Not a problem at all. I'll have my candied popcorn. Yeah, caramel popcorn, like the Lollygobble Bliss Bombs. If anyone from Lollygobble Bliss Bombs is listening, send me some. I'll promote them after my fast. But no, I hate trying new treats that come on the market, because I've got enough addictions. And of course they take some of my favourite stuff off, which really annoys me. I still miss my fudge biscuits that you used to be able to get from Woolies back in the 80s. If they brought those back, I'd be willing to sacrifice one of my other treats. Not a problem at all. Yep, love my food. I'll miss it. I really miss it. Haven't dreamt about food yet, so that's good. 2 days in and I haven't dreamt about food. So happy about that. Anyway, I shall try to keep these videos really short because they're just like my diary on how I'm feeling, how I'm going, what I'm doing. And yeah, hopefully I'll get the job done. Again, this series I'm not wearing makeup. As you can tell, my eyebrows have thinned out. That happened in 2017 and they've never grown back in, and every now and then I lose a few more, so that's got nothing to do with the fast. That's just, I'll see what I can do. And yeah, that stunning grey on the side has to go. Let's just all do that. Never mind, we'll get there. Anyway, catch you later. Be good. I'll have another quick chat in the morning and we'll see how we go. Still feeling good. Well, first day I'm feeling good. So we'll see how we go. Have fun. See ya.